the sunny side of the street. Can you hear that pitter-pat? Yes, that upbeat tune is your step, for life can be so, so sweet. On the sunny side of the street, well, I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Now I'm not afraid that this rover has crossed over. If I never, never have a cent, yes, I'll be rich as Rockefeller, with gold dust at my feet, on the sunny side of the street. To walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Now I am not afraid that this rover has crossed over. If I never, never, never have a cent, well, I'd be rich as Rockefeller, with gold dust at my feet, on this sunny side of the street. Sunny side of the street, on the sunny, on the sunny, on the sunny, the sunny side of the street. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Good morning.
Good morning. What a great wake-up call,
Yeah.
Jason Goldstein, to the sunny side of the street. And we know here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles that has its literal meaning and, of course, 3 layers of a metaphorical meaning. And so, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And happy Sunday. And happy sunny Sunday in the land of Los Angeles. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and it's my honor and my privilege and my pleasure to be with you all today. On so many levels and layers, having not been with you last Sunday, and just a lot, you'll hear more about this journey of my life of late. But it's just so tender to my heart and soul to be able to be together in our home. And so I know that you're settled into your seat. We've got a great musical guest for us today as well, a very special being that's going to be singing for us by the name of Lilli Passero, and you'll know her connection in just a moment as well. But before you get too settled in, I want you to stand up and look into each other's eyes and say hello, namaste, homie, good to see you, happy to be here. And Jason will give us some underneath music. And for those of you watching on home, do the same thing. Look in a mirror and say hello. Hi, I'm Reverend Keith. Kiara? Tiara. Nice to meet you, Tiara. Yes. Yes, sirree, yes, ma'am. So I love when we do that because you can just feel the energy shift in this room, and it really is an experience. It's emblematic of the one of the foundational components of the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind, which is change your thinking, change your life. Obviously, I'm sure many of you went through a journey of the thought process when I asked you to stand up and speak was like, really? Like, really? And then you surrendered to it because you knew that that was the right thing to do. We'll go with that. And then in the process of that, because we're all energetic beings experiencing and expressing love consciously and purposefully, that which we animated and expressed was returned back to us. So that is evidential, if you will, of what we teach in our philosophy, that everything is energy, and we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, and that which we express in life comes back to us multiplied abundantly. And then if we're experiencing life in the realm of that which we don't care for, or it's not bringing us peace or power or beauty or joy or light or life or love or wisdom in our life, which are the qualities of the divine that we're each imbued with, then we have the opportunity before us to go back to that very basic statement, which is change your thinking, change your life. And so today we're on a journey of being connected to each other, of opening our mind, our heart, our soul, our being, to honor the concept of mothering, to honor mothers themselves, and just to stay in community. And so thank you for being here, whether you're here in person in the room or online through the various forms of technology or watching us at a later date. Welcome. Our founding minister, Dr. David Walker, went blank on his name all of a sudden in my brain. What was his name? I can hear him over my shoulder. My name is David Walker. Keith, my name is David Walker. David Walker used to say each Sunday morning, and I invite you to say this with us all. We welcome one, we welcome all. Let's say that together. Ready? We welcome one and we welcome all. Each Sunday morning as we come together, whether online or in person, we do a ritual called calling in the light. We're going to do that today as well. And this being Mother's Day, it holds a very special place in my heart. My mother passed away. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks ago. And that journey and that experience was quite transcendent on so many levels. And there was moments by moments when I was so deeply, deeply, deeply grateful that I have the relationship that I have with this teaching, the science of mind, because it kept providing me with opportunities to literally take a step back and see things differently, to take a step back and ask myself, what do I really believe here? And then when there were moments to show up as an expression, a purposeful, conscientious being of light, to say yes to that, but to also be very clear on what my boundaries were. And so I share that with you as we light the candle for this ritual calling in the light today. And I invite you to connect to those pieces of yourself that I just spoke of, and to connect with those in relation to yourself, to your mother, whatever relationship you may or may have not had with your mother, and to the concept of being mothered, and if you are a mother, to think of that. One of my teachers, Dr. Maureen Hoyt, says, and I won't make you do this because we just got up and said namaste, homie, hello, but she used to say, please stand up if you've ever been a mother or had a mother, which of course then everybody would stand up because we all do come from that womb of creation. And so today, I invite you to just take in this ritual as Jason begins singing us a song. And no matter how many times you've heard these words, or if it's the first time you've heard them, be open to not intellectualizing the words, but to feel the energy that's behind them. And to all the different times, both in our spiritual home that I've stated them, as well as in other communities where this ritual takes place. It's known by a couple of different names. One is called Lighting the Flames of Faith. One is called Calling in the Light. And we shall do it today in the name of Calling in the Light. And so as we perform this ceremony of calling in the light, we do so to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence. In our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we call that presence Spirit, along with many other names, but Spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness and a remembrance that the light of the divine exists and as all sentient beings. One of the great gifts that Ernest Holmes gave us was called spiritual mind treatment. In its most common terms, it's known as affirmative prayer. In its current incarnation, there are 5 steps to it. 1, recognition, known as God is all there is. 2, unification, I am one with that power, that God. 3, the realization, I accept and embody my good or my oneness or whatever it is we desire to align our mindset with. The 4th is gratitude or thanksgiving, saying, I give thanks for this awakened state of mind, this more conscious awareness of our oneness, as referenced earlier. And the last step is, I release, I let go, and I let God. God, in the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind that we practice here, is an impersonal, infinite, all-inclusive creative force. And so as I light this candle, and as we each see the flame become illuminated, remembering this ritual is called Calling in the Light. My acronym for light is living in God's healing truth. And whatever God means to you, I invite you to tune into that as you hear our prayer that spoke to me this morning to pull out and share today. And it's called, Dear God. Dear God, enlighten what's dark in me. Strengthen what's weak in me. Mend what's broken in me, and bind what's bruised in me. Heal what's sick in me, and lastly, revive whatever peace and love has died in me. And so as we tune into the energy of the light of the flame, let's know that all of these what appear to be requests, but in reality are affirmations to ourselves for a revealing of our wholeness and oneness, just as we started this ritual. And to anchor that into our reality, we're going to sing the song together, Calling in the Light. It's a call and response song, and Jason will take you through the lyrics, as will Lilli.
Calling You're calling in the light of love. And so it is. And so it is.
Stay. Yeah. Whoa, and so it is, right? Yeah, good. I like that rendition.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I know. If I'd had the cajon, I would have been playing it, but
Next time, I'll bring it next time.
it's upstairs. We could just go get it. Yeah, anyway. So, you know what? There's always a cajon in my mind. So, so I didn't invite you. I kind of affirmed for you to stay here because I'm assuming you're singing the next song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jason, tell us who your musical guest is today.
This musical guest is my wife. This is Lilli.
We got the reaction we wanted. Let's play that again.
This musical guest is my wife.
Whoa!
And she's a wonderful singer. And today she's going to do a song called "Make You Feel My Love." It's a Bob Dylan tune. And we chose it for Mother's Day. So.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I could never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there is nothing that I would not do to make you feel my love. Thank you.
Yes. So spectacular and beautiful. That's a Bob Dylan song? Wow. Thank you. We feel your love. And we feel it in the room, both from the emotional perspective of love, but also as Dr. Ernest Holmes defines love as the self-givingness of spirit, whose desire is to create more of itself, out of itself. And that's the only way it can really do that, is through the expression of that. I'm going to be addressing that in the context this morning of tuning into the nature of nature and living in an awareness and a heightened awareness of the divine principle, the divine feminine, the principle of creation in that way. And so, happy Mother's Day to that, right? Like, yeah, so thank you for sharing that song and for picking that and for your innovative and creative nature to reach out and say, is it cool for Lilli to come? And I was like, yeah, it's cool, right? So it's definitely cool. Jason was like, is it cool? Are you okay with that? It's okay if you're not. I'm like, I'm okay with that. Bring her on. Nice to meet you. I've heard about you for many years. But most importantly, it's because I just trust Jason, like just implicitly with whatever. So excited. Our theme for the month of May is the giving of flowers. And when I picked that quite some time ago, we did have it last year as well, it's obviously steeped in the concept of it being spring, and flowers are most prominent and present during spring, and around the concept of literally giving, physically, the giving of flowers. And just the journey that I've been on over the last few weeks has, I've witnessed the exchange of flowers in so many ways and been a participant in exchanging those flowers in so many ways. And so I definitely have a different perspective, a really healthy perspective on that. But the reason for the theme of the statement, giving of the flowers, really has nothing to do in its old school metaphorical sense. It's really to continue with the style of the theme that we've had for the last few months, where the first was showers, flowers, yes, if you recall. And it's about staying tuned into the yes, girl aspect of it all. And then the giving of those flowers is to reinforce the yes piece, which is an acknowledgement in the modern world as a vernacular, as the giving of flowers is giving praise. It's acknowledgement. It's an awareness of tuning into creating a state of mind that reflects that which is innate within us, which is joy. It's honoring that creative process and honoring it in the multitudes of ways in which we each individually have opportunities to be aware of both the unique nature that life shows up in each of our lives, because we're all individualized expressions of the only thing there is, while also going deeper and remembering and realizing that there's actually only one thing ever happening. And so that's almost this juxtaposition of life itself, and yet as we, I'm going to speak collectively as we, practice this teaching more and more and more, and I'll speak for myself in this moment, it becomes even more evident of the oneness of life that is that continuity, if you will, the continuous thread, while at the same time appearing to be multidimensional and multifaceted at all times. There's always more than one thing going on, and yet the truth is there's only one. I started to say, as evidenced by the recent files that have been released around the UFOs. No, so you've been following the news of late. But speaking of continuity, it has been it's my history. I don't know how to even say this in this moment. A tribute, if you will, and that on Mother's Day to read this particular writing, to honor my biological mother, Peggy Louise Hall Cox, who, as we have all acknowledged, has just made her transition recently. And the writing is called The Second Oldest Profession, Motherhood, by Irma Bombeck. And I would always read it since I've become a minister for two reasons. One is I think it's just fabulous in the way it's written. And Irma Bombeck was one of my mother's favorite authors ever. And so here we go. When the good Lord was creating mothers, he was into his 6th day of overtime when the angel appeared and said, "You're doing a lot of fiddling around on this one." And God said, "Have you read the specs on this order? She has to be completely washable, but not plastic, have 180 movable parts, all replaceable, run on black coffee and leftovers, have a lap that disappears when she stands up, a kiss that can cure anything from a broken leg to a disappointed love affair, and 6 pairs of hands." The angel shook her head slowly and said, 6 pairs of hands? No way. "It's not the hands that are causing me the problems," God remarked. "It's the 3 pairs of eyes that mothers have to have." "That's on the standard model?" asked the angel. God nodded. "1 pair that sees through closed doors when she asks, 'What are you kids doing in there?' when she already knows. Another here in the back of her head that sees what she shouldn't, but what she has to know." Boy, that was my mother. "And of course, the ones here in front that can look at a child when they goof up and say, 'I understand, and I love you,' without so much as uttering a word." "God," said the angel, touching his sleeve gently, "get some rest tomorrow." "I can't," said God. "I'm so close to creating something so close to myself. Already I have one who heals herself when she's sick, can feed a family of 6 on 1 pound of ground hamburger, and can get a 9-year-old to stand under a shower." The angel circled the model of a mother very slowly and said, "It's too soft," she sighed. "But tough," said God excitedly. "You can imagine what this mother can do or endure." "Can it think?" asked the angel. "Not only can it think," God responded, "but it can also reason and compromise." Finally, the angel bent over and ran her finger across the cheek. "There's a leak," she pronounced. "There's a leak. I told you that you were trying to put too much into this model." "It's not a leak," said the Lord. "It's a tear." "What's it for?" asked the angel. "It's for joy, sadness, disappointment, pain, loneliness, and pride." "You are a genius," said the angel. Somberly, God said, "I didn't put it there." I've shared this writing I don't know how many times, and it touches my heart, obviously, each time. And just this time, I'm questioning, when God said I didn't put it there, well, then who the hell did? You know, like, but I want to go back to the tear for a moment. And it's for joy, for sadness, for disappointment, pain, loneliness, and pride. I certainly can remember many of the moments when I believe my mother experienced those emotions for me and to me and with me and my siblings, and certainly for her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She did that. And I certainly, over the last 2 weeks, have had the opportunity to tune in to present moment experiences of those, sharing that with them, and also have reflected back on many times in my life with her where I know I created pain and sadness and loneliness and even pride and disappointment and joy. What that speaks to me for her today, and I invite us all to tune into it speaking to for all of us and our mothers, whatever relationship you may have with your biological mother or the person that represented the mother in your life, is that they weren't just a model created by God or just your biological mother, but an individual. An individual. Many of you know one of my favorite Ernest Holmes quote is, "Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you." The vision statement for our community is supporting individuals on their journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, I invite us to open our mind and to broaden our perspective on both the individual and mothers either being one or having one or being tuned into those that are that, and to open our mind to what it may have been like as a mother to go through that process. In the last few weeks, my sister and I talked a lot about how it never occurred to us how hard it could have been for our mother to have had 3 children by the time she was 23. You know, she was just a little bitty woman, full of fire. She was a feisty chick, without a doubt, right? And would get right up in your face, even if she had to stand on her tiptoes, you know, and let you know what was right and what was wrong in life. But what her journey must have been like, right? And to open our mind and our eyes and our heart to have compassion for that journey in a different way. And to be grateful that that being, whether it was a conscious choice or not, to become impregnated with the 2 of us, and have we shared the womb of her. It was so interesting as we were closing if I'm getting too graphic, tell me. We were closing her casket, and my sister's like, "Is this okay?" I'm like, "You know, I think it's good that we share this together. We were kind of in her womb together for a long time, so I think we can say goodbye together." I share that in the context of not just the visual of that, but to give ourselves all the opportunity to begin to create a new perspective in regards to the womb of creation, both in that biological, physical sense, but equally as important in the sense of being co-creative beings as expressions of the only thing there is. It's the journey that I would like to look at in this moment. Ernest Holmes says, the spectacular journey into selfhood, that awakening to our spiritual magnificence, which happens each and every time that we open our mind to tuning into our innate nature, and every time that we do spiritual mind treatment, and every time that we say thank you to our mothers, and every time that we see the creative process of life and remember that we are one with that, are those steps along the way of the spectacular journey of selfhood. Holmes writes, the spectacular journey into selfhood begins in a safe and protected environment, the womb. The womb of our mother mirrors the larger womb of creation from which we emerge. Just for a moment, think about your emergence into this womb of creation, as well as that from your mother. He goes, we develop within the mother's body, and her body serves as the first and primary matrix of our experience. The first and primary matrix of our experience. I invite you all to take a moment and just to tune into the journey of your life from the moment that you were expressed through the womb of your biological mother to this very moment. And to ask yourself, without judgment, without approval or disapproval, are you good with where you are? One of the things I walked away from the time with my family was, and I had lined them all up to say goodbye. We were in the country, and there had been some squirrel killing going on that day with a rifle and a gun, and I was like, it's time for Uncle Keith to leave. It's time for me to go. And I was like, it's a little too country for my taste. I'm out of here. And they said to me, what are you leaving with? And I said, well, the appreciation that we don't kill squirrels in California. Let's start with that. I was like, but what I'm walking away from this with is real clarity in my life that if you got shit in your life, excuse my language, if you got shit in your life, clean it up, right? Clean it up. Clean it up, clear your mind, get clear on where you're at in life, and start with a clean slate every chance you get. That's what I was walking away from that with. And the reason that that is of importance to me to say out loud and to share that with each of us today is that as we embark from this moment, which is really all we ever have is this moment, forward on this Mother's Day, to gain and reclaim for ourselves a state of awareness in our mind, to use our mind in ways that is procreating and co-creating life experiences that are reflective of that which we desire to experience. That is really the foundational component of the teaching of the science of mind, and certainly is what drew me into this teaching, and it was done through the statement of change your thinking, change your life. In 1982, when I was drawn to this teaching, when I found this teaching and found that statement, change your thinking, change your life, it was done so in the context of, if I didn't change my thinking, my life would end. And now I realize, and I'm deeply appreciative that I learned that, but now it's not about salvation in the broadest sense, it's about curation of the life I desire. And yes, that in the broad spectrum, but more importantly, moment by moment by moment by moment. On this Mother's Day, we have an opportunity to, yes, celebrate our earthly mothers and thanking and honoring them for the amazing job that they did in bringing us into this physical world and using the very principle of the divine feminine to birth us and to unconditionally and sometimes even conditionally love us and nurture us for years and years and years. But more importantly, I want this Mother's Day for us to be a chance for all of us to consciously reconnect with the principle of the divine feminine within ourselves, which is where the true power of unconditional love resides. It's the womb of creation that's waiting to, in our terminology, embrace and nurture us, but really to provide for us the opportunity for us to align with its innate nature, where peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love is. And it's within you and it's within me. All that we are called to do to tune into that is to open our mind and to allow it to reveal itself. We don't have to create it. We don't have to declare it. We don't even want to have to make it be this case. It simply already is. And so today, Mother's Day is not only a celebration of these earthly mothers, but it's providing us with an opportunity to look beyond the physical, where we can then see, as I said earlier, the unique connection and oneness to the creative energy of life that goes far beyond what even we can comprehend. The great Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones wrote an article titled "The Metaphysics of Mother's Day." And here's what he writes. And he writes it relative to starting with a Jewish proverb. It said, God couldn't be everywhere, so he created mothers. While we know that, and that's to tie in with the great Irma Bombeck as well. While we know in truth that in truth, the infinite one is indeed everywhere because it's omnipresence, I've always appreciated the folk wisdom and metaphors quoted above because it depicts the ineffable character of the divine feminine, which is omnipresent, nurturing and sustaining all living things while excluding none. That's a big statement. Let's take that in again. While we know that in truth, the infinite one, it is that which we call God in this teaching, is indeed everywhere because it's omnipresence. I've always appreciated the folk wisdom and metaphors quoted above because it depicts the ineffable character of the divine feminine, which is omnipresent, nurturing and sustaining all living things while excluding none. Dr. Ernest Holmes refers to the feminine principle as the universal womb of nature, because as an omnipresent principle operating through all living things, it knows how to unconditionally nurture and grow to fruition whatever falls into its embrace. That's what you and I were speaking of outside earlier. And today, what I invite us to become clear on, if you guys get cold in here, I know the air is cranking, we can turn it off, it's right back there. But if not, we can ride the ride. So what I want us to become clear on is to not let whatever falls into its embrace do that without purpose, without intention, and without attention to our intention, as we spoke of earlier. Today, I invite all of us to make a commitment to ourselves on this Mother's Day in 2026 to become more tuned into the power of our mind, to make a conscious commitment to, yes, love more, and to, yes, embrace nature more, and to be more peaceful and more beautiful and all of the other qualities of the divine, but to begin by doing that to ourselves first, and then to trust how the universe responds to us. For the reason of its embrace waiting for us. I believe another term for the divine feminine could be unconditional love, as reference to other words. In other words, the infinite presence says the divine feminine is unconditional love. What if we were to all think, as we were to be here today and move forward, that every time we think and release those thoughts, that it falls into the infinite presence as the divine feminine, as unconditional love, and provides back to us experiences that reflect that. I believe that for our mothers, and several of you in the room today are mothers, you've given birth, and I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, that probably every foundational belief you had for your children was to provide that unconditional love to the best of your ability, to reflect your divine nature. And so today, I want us to remember that we're here imbued with this creative principle of life. That is, yes, if we are of the feminine gender, biological in nature, but transcendent of that, we are one with this creative principle of life, and that we each have before us the opportunity to evolve into a state of mind that reflects our divine nature as peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And the more that we open up to letting those be present in our life, the more and more we will experience them. And we each have equal access to this divine principle and to this power. I'm going to close today by reading a book that I know Mario is familiar with. We do teen camp together. And we used to use this book oftentimes as a lead-in for workshops that we did with teenagers to have them garner a broader understanding of both love and a greater relationship with their mother. It was sent to me. I'd forgotten about this book, and it was sent to me by a beloved peer of mine as an acknowledgement of the passing of my mother. And I invite us all to open up to hear this story, if you will, today from the perspective of culture, of curating a broader relationship with our biological mother, and of curating a broader, more loving, accepting, in-tune relationship with the divine feminine, and to also just take a moment to check in with ourselves in regards to the journey of life itself. And to remember, as Holmes says, the journey into selfhood basically starts, he says, the spectacular journey into selfhood begins in a safe and protected environment. You are in that environment right now. Not just in the room at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, but within the realm of your consciousness of the energy of the divine. A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she held him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The baby grew. And we're speaking of male, but it's non-gender specific here. The baby grew, and he grew, and he grew, and he grew. He grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house. He pulled all the books off the shelves. He pulled all the food out of the refrigerator, and he took his mother's watch and flushed it down the toilet. Sometimes his mother would say, "This kid is driving me crazy." But at night, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of his bed, and if he was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The little boy grew. And he grew, and he grew, and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. And he never wanted to come in for dinner. He never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo. But at nighttime, When he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of the bed. If he was really asleep, she picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be." And the boy grew. And he grew, and he grew, and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. He had strange friends, and he wore strange clothes, and he listened to strange music. Sometimes his mother felt like she was in a zoo. But at nighttime, when the teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of the bed. If he really was asleep, she picked up that great big boy and rocked him back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. While she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be." The teenager grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a grown-up man. He left home and got a house across town. But sometimes on dark nights, the mother got into the car and drove across town. If all the lights in her son's house were out, she opened his bedroom window, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. If that great big man was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be." Well, that mother, she got older. And she got older, and she got older. And one day she called up her son and said, "You better come see me because I'm very old and sick." So her son came to see her. And when he came in the door, she tried to sing the song. She sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always." But she couldn't finish because she was too old and too sick. The son went to his mother. He picked her up and rocked her back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And he sang the song, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my mommy you'll be." When the son came home that night, he stood for a long time at the top of the stairs. Then he went into the room where his very new baby daughter was sleeping. And he picked her up in his arms and very slowly rocked her back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And while he rocked her, he sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be." I share that today to close out. Pass these around. To remind us all that this day has great importance, obviously, as Mother's Day. And I do indeed invite you to take this moment to honor your biological mother. But to remember that mother is a verb, not a noun. And to stay awake and to stay tuned in, tapped in and turned on, as Abraham Hicks says, to what? Love. It's already in you. It's yours to tune into, to stay conscious of on the journey, and to let it out. I invite you to close your eyes. And so I affirm for each of us today that that which we have shared and exchanged in is indeed love. Yes, the self-givingness of spirit, tuning into that which is a verb. And as the great David Hawkins says, love is a state of awareness. And so for all of us, exactly what we innately desired to be present in and participate in today has made itself known, because that's the nature of the universe. We imagine ourselves in the womb of creation right now, readying to be birthed into the next expression of who and what we are as divine beings. And so if there's any fill in the blank that we need to clean up in our life, we clean it up right now. Through the acts of forgiveness, through the state of mind of letting go, detaching, and affirming for ourselves that God is I am. It's not a statement of ego or arrogance. It's an acceptance and an understanding and an alignment to spiritual truth. And it's from here we grow again, letting it be, and so it is. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I am on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I'll comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I'll lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right over troubled water. I'll ease your mind like a breeze over troubled water. I will ease your mind, your mind. I'll ease your mind. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm going to go with dude. Dude, yeah.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love when you're in the zone like that. You're so into it. And it's just so wonderful to witness it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for going to the zone. So thank you all for being here today. And I really acknowledge you for taking the time to nurture yourself and to drive to be here, and to whatever method it took for you all to be here physically and in person. I say thank you. Just a reminder that in the outside, there's a QR code. Right now, our beloved social medias, Star and Olivia ladies, have put together a survey for a questionnaire of what's going on in our community and what you'd like to see in our community. So I invite you to complete that if you haven't. And you can do that by checking on the QR code in the outside, right? Also to let you know, they're doing amazing work social media-wise, so thank you for that. It's really fun to see that. This Wednesday morning, we picked back up, well, we did last Wednesday too, but this Wednesday back with our midweek morning meditation. Time has become a blur for me, just so you know. Midweek morning meditation and new thought text for the day. I'm working on curriculum for our new class, so get ready for that. It's called The Alchemy of Awakening. It's a book that we're going to use that's dense reading, so 1st of June, I think is when we'll get into that. So just be prepared for that. We're online next Sunday, and then the following Sunday, I'll be in Granada Hills, and we'll be online for that, which you guys don't know that yet, but I will be. And then, which is Memorial Day weekend, and we're back here June 15th in person, which is Gay Pride in Hollywood. So be prepared for that, yes. There are some changes going on in the building, and the reason that is of significance in this moment is today it will be the last time we will be with Javi together. He's moving on to something new. So if you see Javi outside, he's the gentleman who sets up the chairs and the room and all that. Just give him a thank you. He's done an amazing job. He's been a part of our team here for a while. So just know that. Yes, what else? We're going to have a virtual game night. We haven't set the date yet. So I'm not even sure what that means exactly, but we're going to do it. So be on the lookout for that through social media. And yes, May 3rd. I remember the date, May 30th. Yes, well, I remember it now that you told me. But as far as what virtual game night means, I'm not sure. Like, I'm sure it won't be strip poker. How about that? Yeah. So.
And it's virtual, so you can tune in from anywhere.
Right. So I'm going to ask Olivia to take the basket behind you, the thing, and just pass it around. We appreciate all of your financial support, and you can go online to our website, csl-la.org, and do that if you'd like to support us electronically, or the app in the App Store. And if you'd like to do that with cold hard cash, coins, jewelry, and or wills, you can do that in the basket. So know that we accept that. Lilli, thank you for being here today. Jason, thank you.
Thank you.
And a huge shout out to Travis Smith in the back for taking care of us with all of our audio visual needs. There's snacks outside for you if you would like. Those with some water and some tea and coffee. And we're going to close out by singing the peace song together. And so I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale and align your mind's eye with the candle that's here, whether you can see it or not. We all know what a flame looks like on a candle. And close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable for you. And as I extinguish the candle on this table, I invite you to see it come to life in your own mind. And then let these words be an affirmation. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. And so by shining, what that means is we're going to allow our divine light to guide us going forward. Letting go of that needing to be a brain activity and letting it be a spirit-guided activity. So just give yourself the grace to wrap yourself in gratitude in this moment. And let these words have deep meaning. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long, as long, as long, my baby you'll be. So we're going to anchor in this entire time together by singing the peace song. Open your eyes and stand up and sway and hold hands or stand alone, however you want.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Yes, hallelujah.